Okay, it's 9 o'clock, so we're going to start. Just want to give everybody a heads up. Tonight's meeting, although this is a Hilchos Shabbos related meeting, this is not going to be a shir. This is just an open house, which is there to have you more informed about what the course is going to be, what's the structure going to be, what's going to be covered, what's the schedule, and a few other important details. Tonight, you're going to hear, first of all, from some of the from those in charge, from the Manal, from myself. There's going to be a short video just explaining how your account is going to work, how shiurim are recorded, b'chulu. And to start off, we're going to hear from the Magid Shir from the course tonight. We're going to hear from Rabbi Zirkin. He's just logging on in a second. You're going to hear from him. Rabbi Zirkin, yes, he's just logged on. Oh, Rabbi Zirkin.
Yeah.
You missed your introduction, but without further ado, Kvod Rav.
Okay, so nice to meet everyone over here. I was asked to just give a brief description of what this track is all about. So there is a curriculum that we learn over a year. We cover the 39 malachas, the 39 prohibited Shabbos activities, with a few additional points like Kiddush, Havdalah, candle lighting. I just want to highlight, I think it's very important to highlight from the start, this track is focused on halacha l'maisa, which means the track is focused on practical application of the laws of Shabbos. The focus of the track is not so much to learn all the sources and all the background, but more to focus on what you could do and what you can't do. Therefore, we primarily deal with, the regular cases, things that are relevant, things that are practical, that will come up in a regular house on Shabbos. We're not getting the focus of the course is not the focus on abstract discussions, on theoretical cases, on the deeper understanding and behind every single opinion, but it's focused on, if you want to know practically what you could do, you can't do in your house on Shabbos. This is what this course is for. I believe there's another track the Laman Yilmudu has, which is much more advanced, which I think is longer than a year, and it's learning much more the background and different opinions and so on and so forth. That is more for somebody that is like interested in delving in depth in the laws of Shabbos, but this is focused on practical application of the laws of Shabbos. Now, as you could well imagine, the laws of Shabbos are very detailed. I don't like to use the word complex, because when you learn them, you'll see that when you get a hold of it, it's not really complex at all. They're very detailed, they're very broad. The way the curriculum is structured is that we deal with topics. It's usually every week we'll discuss a topic. Sometimes there will be a topic that will extend over 2 or 3 weeks. Sometimes there are smaller topics that we will learn like 2 or 3 topics in 1 week. There are materials that are given to the people that attend the program. There is different booklets that contain summary booklet, and then there's a booklet of different sources that we don't always learn inside. We try to, but some of it you can learn by yourself. And another booklet of the with the pictures of the visuals, the digital visual drawings that accompany the shir. And yeah, I think a person will walk away feeling that he understands the ins and outs of the practical application of the laws of Shabbos. Again, you're not going to walk away knowing every single source and every single Gemara and every single, commentary on the laws of Shabbos, but you will know practically what to do, what not to do in your kitchen. And again, I think, we're not going to cover every single aspect of Shabbos, but I think what's the important and practical and relevant, we will. And you could see on the website, there's I think there's a sample shir, and there's a sample, I think, of the sheets of the material that is given out, so you can get some idea of what it's all about. And if there's any questions, I would be happy to answer. I mean, so it's a very brief introduction, obviously, but if there's anything more you want me to say or any questions, I'll be happy to explain.
Perfect.
How
The
much of a
revised-
time investment do you think this is going to need?
What?
How much of a time investment do you think this would
Honestly,
need?
it all depends on the student. It's not a major time investment. As you'll see as we go along, the main information you need to know is enclosed in the summaries booklet, and you get tests every after every 5, 6, or 7 weeks. We arrange a test. It's not really difficult, it's not, it doesn't require, there's 2 hours a week as a shear. It's always encouraged and optimal if people prepare before the shear and review after the shear. And as I mentioned, we don't a lot of times end up learning all the sources, that are in the Shulchan Aruch booklet inside, so people could do that on their own. But you really, at the end of the day, is for the test, usually responsible just for the summaries booklet, which doesn't, somebody that definitely has a good head, it doesn't require much time at all. It's not, again, I don't know, each person's different. It's not a major time investment that's necessary. Before a test, you probably have to sit down for a day or so, or maybe more, depending on how quick you're able to absorb the material and go over it. But it's the way I look at it, it's not so time demanding at all. Again, I can't talk for anyone else. That's just my understanding.
How do we get the text and the paperwork?
How they get the materials? The materials will be sent out. They're mailed to the participants.
Oh, okay.
You get a hard copy in the mail. The visuals you get in the mail as well, but they're shown during the shear. There's a YouTube video available after the shear that you could listen to and review and so on and so forth.
Okay. For
Okay.
now,
You have time for another?
Shilas. Yeah, we could put Shilas in the chat for now. Rizurkin, I think you're a little bit. How much more time we have you on for?
I have another few minutes.
Okay, we'll take a few more questions. Those who have questions throughout, we can put it in the chat. But yeah, we'll take one more question.
You emphasized, Shalom Aleichem, you emphasized a couple times how you're not gonna get what we're not gonna walk away with. I guess you want to have the disclaimer be clear. So, but the laws of Shabbos are, it seems, infinite. There's no limit of what can come up on a Shabbos when you can't ask. So my answer
to what I would say is like this. So the reason why I'm highlighting what I'm highlighting is because there is another track that Laman Yilmadu has that they offer that a lot of times I know people are like wondering, trying to figure out which track to take. So that's why I'm highlighting this point that we're focusing on applying halacha l'maaseh, so not going through every opinion. Now, regarding the other point that you mentioned, you're right. The laws of Shabbos are endless, but when you walk away from the shir, you have the basics in your head. You're not going to know the answer to every question, which I don't think any track you'll learn will have the answer to every question, but you'll have a handle of the subject matter. So you'll know what, first of all, you know when to ask a question. You also have a general idea of how to gauge and deal with that particular situation. Now, you're right. Yes, the laws of Shabbos are endless. You could spend 20 years in Kollel learning the laws of Shabbos every day, and there's still more to learn. So, at the end of the day, is this for somebody that's beginning to learn the laws of Shabbos, I think this is definitely very much up his alley. If somebody already knows Hilchos Shabbos and is looking to know it better, then again, you would have to consider what exactly he's looking for. He might want to join the other track. He might want to join this track if he just wants to,
okay. I would need more. I need more clarity. I don't want to take everyone's time, but I would definitely need more clarity to understand the differences between the tracks. Yeah.
So I think Rabbi Bisk might be helpful in dealing with that. I know this is not my role. I think last year there were other people that helped guide applicants to figure out which track they should or should not take.
Sure. Okay, well, for now, we'll just move on to the next chelik of the program. We have a few more people that need to speak, and then we'll take some Q&A right at the end. A great Yashir Kayach, Rabbi Zirkin. Thank you for making the time to come on. And
Sure.
now we're going to hear a few words from the Manal of all of Laman Yilmadu's programs, Rabbi Chaim Yisrael Wilhelm.
First of all, good evening, and Shkoyach Rabbi Shalom for mentioning the Magad Shir. Shkoyach, super Magad Shir. It's our honor. So we're going on to, I think, our 4th year in the Hilchos Shabbos curriculum, which means a chazaka. And I would like to speak about that for a moment. The Alter Rebbe, the Balatanya, speaks about how it's important to learn Hilchos Shabbos. Shabbos is something that comes every week, and important that it's very easy for us not to know simple things. If it's baited, or if it's kosher, or if it's mater, it's makeh b'patish. And sometimes even chazara, shehiyah, hatmana, which is returning the chalmud pot and picking it up, and all those details, which I know I've been in Rabbi Shalom Zerkin's classes, and I was very happy to say that it's pretty clear to see and to hear and to be that part of that group. So first of all, I want to say, all those that are here, welcome and bruchim habayim. Yeshakayach Rabbi Bisk for making this evening just that, and wishing all. And I know that Rabbi Yoel was just asking the difference and differentiation, which there'll be a response to that. I'm sure we'll be able to call later. Today's evening is the open house to show to faces, to see this beautiful Moiseh that's running many years already, and the Hilchos Shabbos course, how important it is, and how much knowledge you will learn and you will gain from being part of this beautiful course. You're going to walk away knowing the Lamates Malachas, Bishul. You're going to be knowing about Shehiyah Atmana. We're going to be learning about Havdalah and so much more, that we grow up with Kiddush, we grow up with Shabbos, but when we learn it, sometimes in yeshiva, sometimes when we're younger, it doesn't really become one with us, and only later in our life is it so much greater and so much more personable. Yes, there's curriculums, there's booklets and there's books. Everything is sent to the participants, and there's emails, and every day there's going to be another updated shir after every single shir. And there's a beautiful curriculum that worked well with so far so many students. Each class worked well. This year also happens to be an in-person class or an online class. So for those that are near Brooklyn, Crown Heights, they have the opportunity of seeing Rabbi Shalom Zerkin in a classroom, and then there's also the Zoom at the same time. So there are some that would like to have that opportunity. In the past, that was something easy to be done. This year, it gets done on Sunday evenings. Sunday evenings, for some, it might be an easier, lighter work schedule. So usually that's just a better schedule for all of us. That is the little bit about this year. I know there's a little video we're going to be showing. I want to say thank you for all those that are participating, and we'll move on to Rabbi Bisk and one of our Talmudim from the past. Thank you so much. Kol tov.
Grace and Yeshkayach Rabbi Wilhelm. As Rabbi Wilhelm mentioned, that this is going to be our 4th year, Mitzvah Hashem. And as such, we do have with us tonight one of our Talmudim who's finishing this year the Hilchos Shabbos course of Tavshin Pei Daled. Daniel Rockowitz, thank you for making the time to come on and share a few words, just a little bit about his experience. And yeah, thank you so much, Daniel.
All right, so for me, this course was very transformative. So, like Rabbi Wilhelm was saying, as a bacher, having learned Hilchos Shabbos in yeshiva, having learned even from very good Magid Yisherim and also with chavrusas, I was taking bits and pieces, but to see like the full picture it's very hard to see that when it's sort of, with chavrusas on and off, or with a Magid Shir, was just telling you about a certain aspect of Hilchos Shabbos. So I never felt like I really had any kind of mastery over the material, even to see the broader picture. And doing this shir, again, was very, very transformative. I did do the Yeridea the previous year with Rabbi Barber, and that was also an amazing shir. And not to take anything away, but there are some aspects of doing smicha that's maybe not so practical, like let's say malicha, some aspects of teruvas. So I wanted something that was also going to be very, very practical, and this proved to be extremely practical. So Rabbi Zerkin will tell you in the first day of the shir that when you start to progress in the shir, that you might even notice that there's certain things that you weren't doing so perfect, certain things you didn't even know about when it comes to Shabbos. and not to get worried about it or not to freak out about it, because it's a consequence of taking this year. You're going to notice that there are many things that you just had no idea about, or that you were not doing in the most perfect way. And really, again, very transformative. So we have for Shabbos, we invite guests almost every single week. Many of them Bachrim from Hadar Torah, from Yeshiva, and sometimes they come with questions. Sometimes things come up on Shabbos, and I didn't always have the answers for them. Many times I didn't have the answers. So now, even though maybe I don't always still have the answers, but I have where to look them up, whether it's the summaries book or the visualizations book, or I know in the Shulchan Aruch where to find the answers. Also, just something about having learned Hilchos Shabbos as a bacher with Chavrusas is that a lot of it is learning how to learn. So you're understanding what's going on, but you can't always apply it practically to everyday situations in Tafshin Pei Daled. There's so many things that come up now that are not explicitly mentioned. I mean, the Alter Rebbe gives you the tools, he gives you the halachas to apply to situations, but to be able to apply them, I wasn't able to do. It would take me 100 years to accomplish what the Shir gives you in 1 year, to see in so many different circumstances how to apply the halachas. And Rabbi Zorkin is very, very clear, and the visualizations were also tremendous. Being able to see everything, to not just have him tell you, because a lot of times when you're learning halachas, if you don't see it, you don't get it clearly. So that was also very, very extremely helpful to see everything in such a clear way. Also, I found it very useful that it's kind of a smaller shir. There wasn't so many people. With Yeridea, there's a lot of people that are looking for that sort of smicha. So it was a bigger class, and it's harder to get your question in. But with this year, it was everybody could get their questions in, and Rabbi Zurkin is also very good at fielding questions, knowing how to answer each Talmud and exactly the level that they're holding. So again, it was just very, very useful. I'll mention one other thing. Now when we have Bachrim over for Shabbos, I've made it part of the Seder here, part of our just like we sing as started with the Dasa, we'll also take out the summaries book, and I'll ask questions to the Bachrim about different aspects of the Shabbos, whether it's electricity on Shabbos, certain things that everybody is interested in. Also, when it comes to Shalom Bayis, it also happens to be very, very, very helpful. There are a lot of things that we just were not aware of about using the black, about Shabbos candles, about certain things that people are just not thinking about. And when you see it so clearly, and we spent a lot of time on these just very practical things, it makes keeping Shabbos much easier to know what's going on, much easier to find solutions to problems that just come up all the time. So again, just want to thank everybody who was involved, Rabbi Zurkin, of course, and everybody who was behind the scenes making the program happen. I would say it's just essential. You have to know it. You have to be part of this to get this broader picture of Hilchos Shabbos, to see it to get the whole picture from beginning to end, all 39 malachas, and together with other practical aspects. It's unbelievable.
Grayson, Yasher Koach, and thank you so much, Danielle. Right now, before we move on to just Q&A, we're going to just watch a short video that's going to explain how exactly the course is structured, a few technical things regarding your account. And yeah, I'm going to share my screen. Just a second. Share. And
at Leman Yilmadu, everything is done so that you will be successful in your studies. With top-notch Magidei Shiur, quality learning materials, and wide-ranging support, which makes success more feasible than ever. We stay with you all the way until the Chag HaSmicha, when you receive the long-awaited certificate signed by the Rabbanim of our Vada Smicha. Before the semester begins, you will get a package with the learning material for the entire year. You will find the Shulchan Aruch booklets, detailed summary booklets, and booklets with charts and diagrams. For most courses, all the material is translated into English, except for advanced courses like Learning for Dayanis, where the material is in Hebrew. This enables someone who is not fluent in Hebrew to learn halacha on a high level. Along with the booklets, you will receive a folder with a pen and loose leaf to write summaries. In addition, if you join the Shechita or Safrus group, you will also get everything you need, including knives and Shechita stones, ink, a quill, and parchment. All of our shiurim take place live in the evening and are on Zoom, along with classes that take place in person at our study center in Crown Heights. This enables every student anywhere in the world to participate in the learning from home or the office, and to take part in a live shiur with questions and answers at a convenient time and with maximal ease. Before classes begin, we will send a detailed calendar with all the dates for classes for the year. In addition, 15 minutes before a shiur, we will send a reminder with Google Calendar with a Zoom link. Every student has a personal account on the site, which you can enter with a username and password. After every shiur, a video recording of the class is uploaded to the account, and an email is sent with a link to the class. This way, if you want to review the class, or in the event that you were unable to attend the class, you will be able to watch the recording the next day. In addition to the video recording, a link will be sent with an audio version that can be listened to as a podcast. So even while driving or doing work that does not allow you to watch a video, but allows you to listen, you can do so easily. Another useful tool that you will find on the site is a quiz which appears after every shiur with a number of questions and multiple choice format. You are not required to take the quiz, but it will help you see to what extent you master the material that was taught. In addition to the personal account on the site, there's a WhatsApp group for each class separately. This is an excellent way to be updated, be in contact with other students, ask questions about the material, and in general, to make the learning and experience of a shared journey with others doing the same thing. Every few months, each student is given the opportunity to show his progress in both written tests as well as oral tests conducted by a Chashuva Rabbanim. Our staff is here to help you regarding any question you may have. The Magidei Shiur are available to answer questions on the material. The office staff does everything they can to help every student in every way.
Okay, perfect. That's kind of the sum up of the technical side. There's a few points I just want to reiterate. Number one is regarding attendance. One of the unique things about Laman Yilmedu courses in general is that they're not pre-recorded shiurim, they're live. Some are live in person, like we have for the Shabbos course in Crown Heights, but all of them are live over Zoom for those that aren't able to attend physically, in body, but begufo b'nefesh. So for those who are only able to join over Zoom, we suggest that you do come, more than just suggest, so it's basically mandatory to be there live. What I mean by saying mandatory is that for the greatest success in our course, it's best to be together with the class. Another branch of that is that there's a WhatsApp chat where people are asking interactive questions on what's being learned. So we're almost like a kind of like a chabura. We're learning the same halachas and we're preparing for the shiur together and we're asking questions all at the same time. So it's like you're all learning at the same time. Obviously, the shiurim are recorded, and if for a few weeks somebody's, for circumstances isn't able to attend live, then that's perfectly fine and you could catch up. But we do suggest and encourage to be there at least 80 to 90% of the time. Make a serious effort to be there live when the shiur is happening on Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time, and then wherever you are in the world accordingly. Now, regarding tests, Rabbi Zurkin did mention them now, and was also mentioned in the video. They are both written tests on the chaymer on the material that's being learned in that, let's say it's 2 months, 3 months, approximately. It's, based on topics, as well as oral tests, which is like a farher where we're going to have different guests, Rabbanim, which are going to test you, and they'll pick out questions pick at random from those that are there. Both are mandatory, both the written and oral tests are mandatory in order to complete the course and receive the certification at the end. Okay, finally, Achrin Chaviv, which is regarding the price of the course. So the cost for the entire course, which is over a year, is $3,300, which is divided into monthly installments of $275 throughout the course of the year. For those, this is the bonus for those that are at the open house. All those here today and those that are going to receive the recording are entitled to a 5% discount for an open house special discount code that when you reach out to myself to sign up, you will receive it, and upon checking out, the 5% will be applied. I'm going to before we go to a few more questions that are in the chat box, I'm putting my number here for those that want to reach out to me for, say, some more in-depth questions or want to inquire about signing up. So there you have it. I just put it on the chat. Now I see some. Okay, Rabbi Caroline, do we learn kolalim or cases? Is there a list of goals and outcomes that we will definitely walk away? Okay, so regarding the first question. So I wanted to reiterate, and maybe I'll speak over the phone just more barichis. To really boil down what the difference between this course and the Pesach and Hilchos Shabbos course is when we're going to be learning in the Pesach and Hilchos Shabbos course, we're going through Siman Shin Yud Ches for like 6 weeks, and we're learning every sif in Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. We're starting from the Tur, the Beis Yosef, the Mechaber, the Magen Avram, and all the shittas that are brought into the Alter Rebbe. That's what we're focusing on. We're focusing to have a clarikite in the shittas of Rishonim, in quoting Gemaras, everything. Basically going through how the halacha evolved. Whereas here, it's halacha l'maisa. To say klolim or cases, it's not more klolim or more cases. It's both. It's equally klolim and equally cases. We're going to be teaching the klolim, and we're going to be going through many cases, but we're not necessarily focusing on as much on machlekes. Not going to come up. Oh, this is the shit of the Magen Avram, and this is what this. We're not going into shittis and machlekes and that to. It's not a halacha iyunis class, it's a halacha lamaisa class. I hope that answers your question.
And what is your name? What was your name?
Levi Bisk.
How do you spell that?
Levibisk. Okay, I see another important question from Ibtamer Yitzchak. Oh, what certificate are we getting? So the certificate it's called a smicha in Hilchos Shabbos, or smicha halacha l'maisa, which is basically a certification of that you completed all the halachas that were covered in this course and know them well. Again, a passing mark for the written test is 80 or above, and I guess the oral test is decided by the Rabbanim. It's kind of a pass or a fail. Okay. Anything else? You have my numbers. I don't want to go.
Did you answer my second question?
Is there a list of goals and outcomes that we will definitely walk away with? Yeah, I could say I'm not going to say everything, but I'm just going to say one thing for sure is a clarikite in all 39 malachas. And yeah, I mean, that's definitely, that's something I can tell you now. I mean, Rabbi Zirkin can tell you more, but that's I can take a chrayis for. You have a clark.
So that's not a list. That's and that's vague. Because, Rabbi, you can also say you will definitely not have a clarkite in all 39 levels because we won't have I have a clarkite already to some degree, I mean, so, but I don't have enough of a clarkite for sure. So, I don't have enough of a feel. Rabbi Zirkin was emphasizing a little bit what we're not walking away with, So
did you learn Hilchos Shabbos in the past?
Yeah.
In what context did you learn Hilchos Shabbos?
Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch and a lot of the fair amount of the kitzurim that are out there.
What are you looking for more than that, right? In other words, I'm just trying to zoom in.
It happens every Shabbos. My kids will ask me a question, and I'm not sure. And I'm not even sure which klalim might apply to that question.
Is that due to, if you don't mind me trying to zoom, is that due to a lack of information or a lack of being able to apply the information to a practical scenario?
Both. Even though I've learned Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, I haven't learned it completely, for sure not. But I don't know, are we going to learn Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch inside here?
To some degree, that's not going to be, honestly, it's not the main focus. The main focus is really that a person should walk away knowing what he could or can't do on Shabbos. That's really our main focus. Again, because you already have some background in Hilchos Shabbos, I'm not exactly sure what, if somebody never learned anything, I'll be able to tell them much more clearly what we are offering.
But I
But in
didn't
other words,
understand. This is not for, my understanding was this is not for someone.
So if what seems to me what you're looking for is more for clarity, you're looking for somebody to take the material that you already know to a certain or large degree and being able to put it in a context that you're able to apply it in a
certain degree, yeah. So that I know to a certain degree.
I would say that
Hilchos
I definitely think that
things
this
come up. Hilchos Boyer
I would
things come up
definitely
every
say
Shabbos.
that this course, from my perspective, is very helpful in that regard. You could, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I again, each person's brain works differently, and each person needs a different set of tools to use to process information. The one thing that I definitely try to do is I try to give you the background of the malacha and the application of the malacha. In other words, you should try to have a basic grasp of what is going on behind the scenes, and therefore how to apply it in specific circumstances. Am I dealing with every circumstance? No, but one thing I do think is you'll walk away with a certain clarkite of what are the pieces of this puzzle. What are the which players are on this game. Now,
I was
again,
hoping at some point. I was hoping at some point to be able to give a few examples and see not what you would answer as much as how the class we could say we'd walk away at the end of the class being able to either know the answer or at least understand all of the klolim that might be factors. Is Makeh B'Patish an issue here? Is which aspects of Boyer here? I don't know to be honest, I don't know the Alter Rebbe Shita on Boyer. I don't. I'm confused.
Is there any specific example you want to ask now?
I could ask for sure.
So go ahead.
I promised the participants it wouldn't be a sheer, but if you want to leave now, you could leave now.
Yeah. Okay. A couple. I'm going to ask a couple. Here's an easier one. What are the rules about shaking off a tablecloth or cleaning a tablecloth?
What are the rules about shaking off a tablecloth?
Yeah.
You don't shake it off in the wind. I mean, like regarding what particular.
Why? Why? So you just said. So that's an example.
Explain. Okay, listen. There's a malacha called zaira, which means winnowing, which means throwing things into the wind, right? So when we'll discuss the malacha of zaira, we'll discuss shaking the tablecloth into the wind. We don't start the course. The course is not arranged based on the bathroom, the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room, and identifying each item and every problem that could happen to that item. No, our course is arranged based on the malachas. So when you get a hold of the malacha, you'll learn the application, and you say, "Oh, this is the tablecloth. Oh, this is the kitchen sink. Oh, this is this." We're not gonna start.
I understand. So what is the halacha that is the background here related to shaking
Malacha
off
of Zayda. It's the Malacha of Zayda. It's actually one of the smaller malachas that we will learn. It's going to take us not too much time. That is the background. So we'll discuss the malacha. We'll see what it was in the Mishnah. We'll understand the concept of the malacha. We'll understand what it applies to and why it applies to shaking off a tablecloth in the wind. Unless there was other things that you had in mind. I'm not sure what you meant when cleaning the table.
You said in the wind. You said in the wind. If it's for sure not windy.
If you're shaking off a tablecloth with crumbs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see any other problem at this point.
So how do you determine if it's windy?
Well,
You understand?
If you're following the sheet of Rabbi Yirmiyah, which used to ask in every single thing, many hypothetical cases, and in other words, he wasn't clear. Like he asked, if a bird goes more than 50 yam, it's one halacha. If it goes less than 50 yam, it's not halacha. So he asked, what's the halacha if 1 foot is within 50 yam and 1 foot is out of 50 yam? I mean, those questions I'm not going to deal with, but I'm saying you're going to have
No, but I just want to be able. My daughter asked
a
me.
wind means that it will disperse the crumbs, that the wind will take the crumbs and carry them away. That's what a wind means in regards to.
So will I have learned those clothing clear
Yes,
enough?
you would definitely would. Now again, just keep in mind that we're focusing on the malachas and its applications. There could be other scenarios that might somehow pop up with a tablecloth.
I understand. I want to have klarkeit and klolim, and
that's what we try to do. That's our goal.
Folding a tab. Yeah, when I relate to the rugged shaver. I cannot stand not being able to remember things that bother me on Shabbos. So I want to know about folding the tab on a book, and also, is there any way that I can make a siman like next to a certain line in a sefer or in a book on Shabbos, so that later I can come back and remember, it was in this thing.
How are you going to make this siman?
I don't know. I was going through in my head, could I do? What can I do? Would I have a klarkeit? I definitely enough klolim that I know I can't do this, I can't do that. I can have a creative mind.
This is something which we learn clearly in the Malacha of Kosev. We discussed the idea of making a mark on a book. It comes up over there. There are 2 shittas. We discussed practically we don't make any marks in books. Folding a page is allowed. Poskim say is allowed, and we'll explain the distinction. If you want to know, we'll explain it during the shir.
Like I would walk away knowing why, even though we don't make marks in books, the folding the page is allowed.
Yes. In other words, I'll tell you what the poskim say. You could still walk away and say, "Well, it doesn't make sense to me." That I'm not guaranteeing you that your mind will automatically.
One way is you fold the page so that the point comes down to the sentence where you had the shayla.
Right. Whatever. I mean, if you wanted to go into it now, I can. But either way, the point is.
I don't want you to give me any answers now. I want to know: will I have the klalim? Will I have the klalim to answer these?
I believe so. Yes.
But there's no refunds even if you don't. Promise.
There's one more. I'll take one more example if necessary. Just.
Washing dishes at the end of Shabbos, loading the dishwasher to put on after Shabbos, opening cans on Shabbos, opening pull top can lids, making egg salad, tuna fish, baba ganoush, all of these things. You don't have to tell me any answers now. Will I have all the klolim I need?
You will. So I'll be honest with you. Some of the things you're talking about, for example, opening cans, there's 5,500 opinions about. So you cannot.
Well, then for sure I want to know the klolim.
So what we will discuss, what we do when it comes to a subject like that. So our strategy is we give you the basic points of the discussion. We tell you the basic opinions. And then again, like in subject like that, there are many different opinions. There's a certain standard you want to set for yourself, which that not necessarily I could decide for you. In other words, we'll tell you what the different opinions out there. We'll give you a general overview of what's going on. It's impossible that there's books and svarim that have been written. You have to spend a year just learning all the sugyas to understand what each opinion and why each opinion holds what it holds regarding opening cans. But you walk away with a general understanding of the core issues and practically what we advise you to do, which is to try to take care of them before Shabbos. And maybe we'll discuss a few more practical steps in that. But in such a thing that is a major controversy, we're not going to give it all to you. We're not going to spend a whole month discussing it. We're going to discuss it very briefly and to the point. Now, regarding other questions that you mentioned, that we'll discuss more in detail, like making a tuna salad, the egg salad. That is going to be discussed in detail. That is it's not a controversy. It's just something we need to know how to do, and we'll discuss it.
You know, to be Mekayim Ilsa the Bedichas, do I have to be concerned if the last name of the Magachir is Zirkin when it comes to which standards are being set?
The standards, I don't impose my standards on anyone.
I'm
That's one
joking.
thing you could ask.
I said it to Milsa de Bedichas. Yeah. I have a son-in-law. I have a
I mean,
Zirkin son-in-law.
I don't know what this will have to speak to Rabbi Bisk. I don't know what what Leman Yilmadul's policies on this, but some people I know they've come for a few weeks, they've seen if it works for them or not. Some people, decide it works. Some people does. I mean, again, you have to speak to Rabbi Bisk what his policy is, but I know in the past sometimes there were people that they didn't know if they should take this track or that track or a third track. So listen, you could try it out. Again, that's I'm not speaking for anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
that's the most
I really appreciate the time, Rabbi.
Okay, sei gesund.
To everybody, and thank you again, Rabbi Zirkin.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.